Hi, my name is Nancy Isime. I'm from Edo State, Ishan to be precise. I'm number 4 out of 5 kids in my family. I love to swim. I love to work out. I love to travel. I love to read books and just have a good time and be alone. And I love to work, if that's a hobby. Yeah, but I love to work. I'm a workaholic. I went to primary school in Lagos. Primary school was Unique Blossom in Ikorodu. Part of secondary school, junior secondary school was Livingstone. Senior secondary school was Word of Faith College in Benin City, Edo State. And university, I did a basic course in Uniport for about 6 months to 9 months. It's a 6 month course, but I was in Port Harcourt for about 9 months. And then I did a diploma in social works in Unilag.
Welcome to the University of Lagos.
As a child, I think I was a playful child, but I grew up with, with a very strict dad who was a disciplinarian who always wanted me to be indoors and always be at home, barely come out to play, basically just school, lesson, and then do your homework and go to bed. Um, when I went to secondary school and I had the opportunity to school in Waterface in Benin City, there's a bit of freedom. So I was more of the, yeah, I like to go out. I think that was a phase where I really like to meet people. But the older you get, that meeting people part just kind of slows down a bit because I can't help it. Everywhere I go, I meet people. So yeah, so I used to be the child who likes to go out, play. Even when I run errands, there's always that little bit of play. So I was a playful child,
See, I will never understand why you are so jealous of me.
I don't think I discovered it. I think somebody else discovered it, which is the director, Dixon Zapozu. He's Ghanaian. They were producing a TV series at the time, for Galaxy. And he saw me on the runway as a model. And he said, okay, you should come try. I know I've told the story 100 times. But you should come try, we're auditioning, come and audition. And I auditioned, and after a few weeks, I got a call, and that's how I became part of the series Echoes. My dad is quite liberal. He wanted me to get an education for sure, so I got my diploma for him. But he's liberal. It wasn't too hard on me. It wasn't even hard at all because I started as an usher, then as a model, so I already had my working background before I started to act. Okay, as a younger actor, did I experience any kind of discrimination on set? I mean, there's discrimination everywhere. It could come from other actors not wanting to relate with you as much because maybe they feel like you're not on the same level. It could come from anything, maybe not getting what you're supposed to get, not getting paid what you should get, not getting the kind of treatment someone else is getting, which is normal. It happens in churches, happens in banks, happens everywhere. I think it comes with that sense of entitlement where, oh, everybody should treat me this way because, oh, I'm suffering, I'm poor, and that's why they're not talking to me. Everybody has a right to talk to who they want to talk to. Auditions, I've gone through auditions. If I got the job, it was because I was good enough to get the job. So for me, I don't see anything as discrimination. I feel like there's a level to everything and there's like a step to everything. The acting career, what the most trying time of my acting career would be. I mean, my acting career is quite new. I can't say anything is as trying as it should because it's a stage, and the way I see it as there's a face for everything. So even as of now, I still have trying times. But of course, in the beginning, when you're just trying to find your feet and when you're not getting as much, but like I said, there's a face. My sense of reason comes with absolutely no entitlement. So I can't really call it the most trying time. It's the beginning phase. Nobody gets all the jobs in the beginning, no matter how good you are. So yeah, I can't say they're really trying times in my career. I can just say I've gone through phases that are not as good as it is right now, but I know that there's still phases in the future that will even be better than the phases that I'm going through now. That people think, oh, this phase is such a great phase, but in the future there will even be better phases where I look back and I say, oh, this phase wasn't as good. You get, yeah. The greatest risk, sacrifice. That's my acting career, right? Would I call it risk? What would I call it? Well, it's basically deciding to delve in, just like go into it full time. In as much as I still host, um, it would just be, deciding not to, because at a point I wanted to continue my education, get a BSc in a school in Canada, but me deciding, okay, you know what, I'm going to stay here and make things work, make my hosting and my acting career work was probably the greatest risk that I ever took, because I could have decided to just take whatever savings I had and just gone to Canada and seen how I could cope. But I don't think I would have done very much there at all. What was that moment that took me? That, trust me, it was a bunch of jobs. It wasn't really one. It wasn't really one, because I do both Iroko movies, I do both African magic movies, like they like to call it. I do cinema. So I'm a diverse actor. I do online platforms. I'm not like, you will say, oh, she's just a cinema actor. She doesn't do anything else. It's so, I can say it's a bunch, it's so unfair to, say, okay, it is this one job that gave me my big break, forgetting that so many other jobs people had been seeing you. Yes, there's probably a defining character that made people, another set of people draw closer to you. But every job I've done has brought a certain type of supporters towards me, and they've just grown. That's it. They've just grown, but it's not been. I can't really sit down and say, because I do a lot of things. So I can't really sit down and say, oh, it was this one thing. Everything has played to bringing me to where I am today, including the shows that I host. Nigerian television. Yeah. One thing I'd like to change about Nollywood is the way funds come into shoot. Most projects are individually funded. We don't have enough support from the government, from banks, from organizations. Most people have to suffer and just throw in their money. They don't know if it's a risk. They don't know if you'll make money. They don't know. It's basically a gamble. So I'll probably, and we do have one or two organizations who give money, like Bank of Industry, but there's not enough. So I feel like the industry should be supported enough. So if there's one thing I could change, if I had the power to speak to the government and implement something, it would be that we have enough outlets for. I know that the country is hard and there's probably too many dishonest people, too many, who will probably take the money and never come back, will never pay it back, which has made a lot of people withdraw their money. So it doesn't really come from a side of what people don't want to give. I know they've tried, but I wish there'll be even, don't cut the funds, increase the policies, make it stricter, but don't cut the funds. Okay, so my most treasured achievement, okay, it'll just be acting alongside people I used to watch when I was younger. People like Ramsey Noah, Jim Ike, and be acting practically along, like beside them. And working with producers I only used to hear about back then. Yeah, that would be my most treasured, to be able to be in the same space as them, exchange lines with them, Jide Kosoko, Richard Mofe, Damijo, RMD, and a bunch of others. AY, a lot of them. That's probably the most treasured. Every time I get on set and I have to work with a veteran, it gives me joy.
And if you're not stirred, what are you afraid of? Why are you so uncomfortable with me getting another doctor? Why are you acting up? Why am I acting up? Why are you acting up?
There's some tiny little things, maybe okay. Sometimes we have to shoot under such duress that people don't see. People just say, oh, that movie, they shot it in 10 days now out for Nollywood. Do you understand that sometimes actors shoot for 24 hours in 24 hours? Sometimes we shoot for 48 hours in 48 hours. Sometimes we're on set because there's a tight schedule, there's a tight budget. That's where the funds coming from. That's why I say, if there's enough funds, who doesn't want to be on set for 6 months and you're getting paid for 6 months? Who doesn't want to be chilling, go to work at 10 and close at 3 p.m. and then go back home? Who doesn't want to? So I just think people need to give, it's not even about the industry. I think people outside the industry need to give Nollywood a break. We can't be like Hollywood overnight. The country is not even like America to start with. So why do you want the industry to be like America, like Hollywood? So it would be that people need to give Nollywood a break. Give Nollywood a break. There are better movies coming out these days. It will take time, but we'll get there. But funds, we don't have money. People are shooting on a tight budget, and they still have a lot of other things to do and responsibilities. The fact that you're shooting a movie doesn't mean the whole world stops. Your rent still counts, your lights, everything else, your staff, you're still paying people. So please, that's probably one thing. People just need to give Nollywood a break. The actors too, it's crazy. It's so crazy. So it takes a lot for an actor to say, this is what I eat from. This is, I'm going to stick to it. A lot of people say, oh, this girl is sleeping around. Yeah, okay, it's wrong. But you need to understand that it doesn't even pay for as much as the time that you spend. It doesn't pay, but there's still people they are good people. Stop the whole idea of Nollywood actresses and actors are promiscuous. Stop it. There are promiscuous people everywhere. Everywhere. What makes people promiscuous is the economy, not the industry. Yes, they're in the public eye. Probably they get more men than you. That's why you're mad. But trust me, it's not, promiscuity is not to, no, if you go to the bank, there's promiscuity. There's everybody sleeping with everybody everywhere. You just don't know about it because their lives are not in public. Their wives sleeping around. So promiscuity is not to Nollywood. Okay? Yes, there are people, they're bad eggs. I can't even call it bad eggs because it's their life. It's their genitals. So it's what they want to do with it. But whatever it is, there is in everywhere. But there's still people who are sticking to their craft and who are doing it for this. When you see them, celebrate them. That's how you can promote such. You celebrate the people who are doing the right things and don't form lies and say, forget, she's like them. What do you mean? What makes him different? He's not different. When you see the good, celebrate your stars. Like, how do I put it? Iconize them. When you talk about Julia Roberts, also talk about Genevieve. When you see the way you scream at Beyonce, in America, scream at Tiwa Savage that way. And don't say, before she go feel like something where she no be. Whether you greet her or don't greet her, her account is going to keep rising. Whether you show that she's there or not, things are still going to keep rising for her. You are not God, that doesn't determine anything. So I think these are the things that really pinch me a little. The fact that people feel like, oh yeah, they just feel like, oh no, this is that, that is that. The industry is growing. Patience with the industry. Someday we'll get to a point where we shoot a movie for 10 years and we just take our time. For now, there's not enough funds for that. So let us shoot. And when you see mistakes, bear it with us because we're not yet there. Okay? As long as it's a good storyline and you see actors acting for their lives, even sometimes without enough food, with heat, with less, resources, appreciate them. Talk about the mistakes later on. That's what chews me up. So have I had disappointments? Yes. Has there been times where I felt like quitting? Not really. It still comes back to where my mindset is. No entitlement, enjoying the ride, taking it one step at a time, understanding there's a bigger picture, understanding that if you commit to it well enough, you will get to somewhere. At least you might not know where, but you will get somewhere. So felt like quitting, not yet. Maybe one day I will feel like quitting, for sure. Because I believe in myself, I believe in evolution. I believe in, not being stagnant, going from one thing to the other. I used to be an usher. I've worked as a PA. I've modeled. I've been a beauty queen. I moved into the acting scene. I also spread my tentacles and dug into the presenting, hosting scene. I host events. I host a TV show. Yeah, I influence right now. You don't need to do one thing for the rest. I'm not going to do one thing for the rest of my life. I'm going to do 100 things that I'm good at, and I'm going to bring out the best of it. So there's a phase to every stage. You just need to be patient. That's what a lot of people don't know. Be patient.